was lucky enough to win Gear Ant's SHO Boost giveaway featuring one of his custom enclosures, and today I'm going to take you through that build. Taking a look through the parts, we've got the board, 4 resistors, a transistor, a diode, 2 capacitors, knob, input and output jacks, wire, a 9-volt DC jack, foot switch, and a 5K reverse audio taper potentiometer. Some helpful tools, and the build doc with the schematic. We'll start with the board in R1, which is a 10 mega ohm resistor. Using the pliers, we're going to bend the metal leads 90 degrees so that they can fit in the board. Here it says R1. I'm going to bend the leads out so it stays in place. We're going to do the same with the rest of the resistors to populate the board. Alright, now it's time to get soldering. We've got the fan on, we've got the iron hot, got the solder, got the cleaner. I'm going to start by applying a little bit of solder. Helps to get it flowing. So as you can see, we've got connections on all 8 points of the 4 resistors. Use your wire cutters to snip the leads. Now we're going to populate the rest of the board. Keep in mind that apart from the white box capacitor, the rest of these components have specific orientations. For Q1, the silicon transistor, match the shape to the markings on the board. For Z1, match the cathode, marked in black, to the bold mark on the board. For the electrolytic capacitor, the long lead will be positive and the striped end will be negative. Now that we have the board populated, we're going to add the potentiometer. The potentiometer has 3 lugs from left to right, 1, 2, 3. It also has this little tag here that you can take off with pliers. board has 3 holes here for the potentiometer. The square one is for lug 1. I'm going to fit it in through the back like that. Now that the board's done, we're going to mask and drill the enclosure. First things first, you'll want to mask off the enclosure with blue tape. Now we're going to mark where to drill. Now we're going to drill our holes, starting with a small pilot and working our way up. Now we're going to assemble it. Alright, now it's time to wire this up. The 4 holes at the bottom are the board connections, the board input, the ground, the positive 9 volts, and the board output. With everything assembled, you can approximate how long each wire should be. Strip a small portion of the wire. And then put a little solder on the tips. And solder to the board. The foot switch is a 3PDT or triple pole double throw. We're going to be using this wiring, which will require 2 of the clipped leads from the resistors, like so. First, we'll do the input and output wires from the board. Next, we wire the input and output jacks, making sure to use the tip lug rather than the center ground. Now we're going to use the ground connections. From foot switch to jack, from jack to jack, and then one running down to the power jack. To put in the LED indicator, we'll attach the short negative end to the foot switch and the long positive end to a resistor and the power jack, like so. Now we're going to wire the board ground and the jack ground to the lug on the left and the board 9 volts and the LED to both lugs on the right. And done, all wired up. That's it. I wanted to say thank you to Gira for this beautiful pedal for the kit. It was a lot of fun making. Thanks.